What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about teams that will give you an incredible return on any investment you put into them. Teams that could, for starters, be used for multiple Galactic Legends. Teams that are going to get you pretty far in terms of assault battles. Teams that are going to be useful in multiple game modes, no matter what kind of investment you put into them. We're going to break that all down in today's video, kind of go over teams that if you're looking to game on a budget, you're not really spending, these are teams that if you focus on them, they're going to reward you in turn with a lot of materials, a lot of pathways to Galactic Legends, other things. We're gonna break that all down in today's video. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's start by talking about one very lovely Commander Luke Skywalker. You guys may have heard of Luke Skywalker, may not, but Luke is going to give you the pathway to, number one, 3 Galactic Legends. You're going to use him for Jabba the Hutt. Spoilers, he's going to be in this video. You're also going to use him for Leia Organa, and you're also going to use him for Jedi Master Luke. Now, you don't necessarily have him as a requirement for 2 of those characters, but you do have to have Commander Luke Skywalker to get to Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, which is then used for 2 Galactic Legends. But also the CLS Rebel team on its own is incredibly good, and they constantly update this team to give them new lifter units. So originally your first team with CLS was like CLS with Raid Han from the Rancor Raid. You had R2-D2. And then you would kind of fill out some other Rebel characters. That was like our meta Rebel character team when CLS first came to the game. But then we started to get other lifters. Eventually, we got the likes of C-3PO, where C-3PO was giving expose with Rebel characters using their basic attacks, which are a big thing with CLS and the counters with his lead. So he got some nice lifting capabilities with that. But then also down the road, we got C-3PO and Chewie, who also gave us another lifter for CLS team and is absolutely monstrous with this team, and you get a lot of max health damage with him. We also got another legendary on this team with Chewbacca, so you're getting a lot of legendary characters that fit into this team. You have CLS, 3PO, Chewbacca. That's 3 legendary characters right there, and then you have Chewie and C-3PO, and then you also have Han Solo, a raid character. So you're getting a lot of legendaries, you're getting a raid character. They're constantly lifting this team in multiple ways, and this team is still incredibly strong to this day, and especially when you get those Rebel Datacrons, this team is nasty when you get into Territory War and Grand Arena. So CLS with your Rebels, strong team. You're also going to use them for the Military Might Assault Battle, though if you build up to Leia Organa in the future, Leia does make that assault battle much more trivial. But in addition to that strong team, you get 3 Galactic Legends that you need to have a requirement for CLS in some way. Now, another one I want to bring up is going to be Imperial Troopers, and this team is something that is highly recommended as a new player because they're very easy to farm. They're very strong. There's a lot of turn meter trained with this team, especially with the General Veers lead. You have that lead, and they're gaining speed. They gain turn meter whenever they gain a buff. They're constantly getting buffs through enemies dying. There's a lot of buffs kind of flying around with this team. The crux or the core of your team is going to be Veers with Piet, and then Range Trooper. And then you kind of bring in 2 others. You also do have another Imperial Trooper team with Iden Versio if you want to kind of go that way. This is a Grand Arena team that does fall off in power as you get later into the game. It's kind of Wampa bait, especially if you don't have Scout Trooper on the team. But the Imperial Troopers, very easy to farm as a starter, and then you're also going to get some lasting value with them. Now, once you get high into your Grand Arena leagues, you don't really use them as much, but you're also going to use them to very easily clear 2 assault battles, and that's going to be the Forest Moon assault battle as well as the Rebel Roundup. Now, both of these do give you some nice character shards, but also give you a lot of gear and even relic materials as you go up the tiers. And the Forest Moon and Rebel Roundup are actually very easy to complete with an Imperial Trooper team if you do go that way. Very easy to get done. They are going to get you a lot of relic materials as a result. So if you invest in this team, you're going to get those rewards back over time, especially because of those 2 assault battles. Very good there. Very strong starting team that's highly recommended to really invest in as one of your first teams. And the other one that I want to kind of bring up here that's another strong starting team that's going to give you some nice return on that investment is going to be Phoenix, because Phoenix did get a lifter with Captain Rex when Raul Leo Organa came out as a Galactic Legend a couple years ago, and he was a nice lifter for this team. And I've brought this team up multiple times in recent videos. Very strong Omicrons if you're looking to invest in Territory Wars or Grand Arena. They're also going to get you multiple legendary characters in the process. So in order to get Grand Admiral Thrawn, you must use Phoenix characters, and another legendary character that you can get early on is going to be Emperor Palpatine, because you need to use Rebel characters, and spoiler alert, Phoenix are Rebel characters. You can see them right here. So here's Captain Rex. Yeah, you've got Harrison Dula. So you're going to use Phoenix to get Grand Admiral Thrawn as well as Emperor Palpatine, but then also you get a nice little overlap with another character here, and that's going to be Grandmaster Yoda, who is not necessarily used for any Galactic Legends, and he's kind of in a desperate need of a touch-up. The fact that he's the only legendary character without a unique ability right now is kind of surprising, so I'm hoping at some point down the road we get a rework to Yoda. But yeah, this one's very easy to get too, especially with Jedi, but with Phoenix, you also have 2 Jedi in Ezra and Kanan. So you basically get 2.5 legendary characters with this team out the gate just by doing this. And also, down the road, Ahsoka Tano, you don't need... You have like Ezra Bridger here, and then that's really the only one that you need for Galactic Legend Ahsoka, but, you know, it's a nice little overlap. And so you do kind of need one of them for the Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano as well. But also there's an assault battle that does use the Phoenix with Secret and Shadows, where you use either Night Sisters or Phoenix. And Phoenix is kind of the weaker of the two options. Night Sisters are better, but Phoenix will get you in the door on that. So you are starting to get that assault battle with them as well. It's another one that you're going to be able to kind of get some extra return on that investment. So 2.5 legendaries, very strong starting team, some pretty solid Omicrons with this team as well, and you also get an assault battle too. And now we're going to talk about the one Galactic Legend that's going to be in this video, and that is going to be Jabba the Hutt. We mentioned earlier you need CLS to get him because you use CLS to get Jedi Knight Luke, which is a Relic 7 requirement for Jabba the Hutt, but also just a very good character in that you use them in multiple phases of the Rise of the Empire territory battles. Which can show that here to you in a second, but yeah, every set of combat missions here in each phase, you have a Jabba the Hutt here, you go on, and then you just keep getting Jabba the Hutt required combat missions. So all the way up through the middle section here of Rise of the Empire, you have required missions with Jabba the Hutt. So you're already starting off strong there, but also you get the Smuggler's Run event that gives an incredible return on mod slicing materials. This runs a few times a month, and the investment's kind of steep with this one, and you do need to like really get some Zetas and relics on the team for the Heart Cartel to really easily clear it, especially for 3 stars. It lets you sim it, which thank God we finally got that being simmable. But the Smuggler's Run 2 event on its own is an incredible return because of just how much slicing materials it gives you for mods. Great return on investment there. But then you stack on the Rise of the Empire, and this used to be the premier raid team for the Crate Dragon raid, that's kind of fallen to the wayside, but you also get to use them for the Rebel Roundup team, or the Rebel Roundup assault battle. If you're not investing in Imperial Troopers as much, you can pretty much clear full auto the Rebel Roundup with this one. This is actually what I did because I didn't really build up my Imperial Troopers as much. I just used Hutt Cartel instead and just kind of cruised right through it. So you do get some nice overlap there. If you're not really focusing on Imperial Troopers, you do get to use the Hutt Cartel because they are bounty hunters. You get to use them for that Rebel Roundup team, the Rebel Roundup assault battle instead. But between the assault battle and the fact of Smuggler's Run and just how much material you get back, plus Rise of the Empire and just how often you're going to be using Jabba the Hutt inside of that, you're going to get a lot of return for any money you put into him. Not necessarily money, but any materials, any gear you put into him and the Hutt Cartel team, you're going to get a solid return on investment for this team. So next up, we're going to talk about two characters where the sun is kind of setting on some of their viability, but you're still going to have an assault battle with them that is going to give you a strong return as long as you invest in them, and that's going to be Padawan and Master Qui-Gon. Now, both these characters are used for the Queen Amidala team that's inside the Battle for Naboo raid, which is going to be phased out here shortly in terms of the Jedi Temple raid, where we're going to be getting like Lord Vader, the Dark Side clones, we've got Bad Batch. So, you're not going to use this team for the Battle for Naboo raid, but if you have high relics on them, you can still use them on the Duel of the Fates assault battle. And this one gives you incredible return as long as you invest in it. And we're going to show something here. And shout out to Egnards on this one. He kind of did a breakdown on this, going over the return on investment for where you are on this team. If you take them to Relic 9, for instance, you're going to get a lot of keypads and droid brains. And if you invest in Relic 9, within about a year and a few months, you're going to get the investment back on those materials. And now you're going to start getting to the black in terms of you're getting more materials for that. You're going to be able to take more characters up to those high relic levels. So it's going to take a while for the investment to pay off, but if you invest in it over time, and if you do intend to play this game for a couple years at least, you're going to get back into the positive in terms of those investments. The fragment signal data takes about a year and a half. The couple of these aren't as positive, but these ones don't matter as much, like for instance the chromium transistors and iridium heat sinks. Those are both pretty easy to get already with Jawa Scavenger, so those aren't too much of an issue. But Aero Magnifiers is an expensive one, which thankfully we have Galactic Conquest for that. But flawed signal data is rough as well. So it's some positives and negatives to the investment that you're getting here, but droid brains and keypads, those are expensive to get, and you're going to get those back pretty quickly. And now this is also going to tie into the Peridia Patrol, and that is one that requires a couple of the new Imperial Remnant characters, and that is going to be Night Trooper, the Death Trooper Peridia, and also Captain Enoch. Those three characters, you will need them for Peridia Patrol, where you fight against an Ezra Bridger Exile. You are going to use these for Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. You need 2 of them at Relic 7 to get her unlocked. But that also means you get to use the Peridia Patrol Assault Battle. And as far as we can tell, the developers have no intent of letting this Assault Battle go anywhere anytime soon. So if you invest in them and you start to get these characters up to those high relic levels for Ahsoka, and you start getting those high level rewards for your for the Peridia Patrol, you get some nice solid return on your investment. About a year and a half to get back your keypads and droid brains, and then you start getting some extra Omicron abilities per year. This is pretty good too. Omicrons are a premium thing, and it's not as valuable as I'd say it's not as valuable as the Duel of the Fates assault battle, because the relic slicing materials are just a little bit better for me. But the fact that you can get an extra Omicron a year, even 2 Omicrons a year with this, that's pretty nice to have, and that's going to stack up over time, obviously. But the fact that droid brains and keypads are going to come back relatively quickly, that's not as bad. So this is one that's not as rewarding as, say, the Duel of the Fates, and really this is one where you don't want to necessarily take them up to the super high relics. If you have them at Relic 7, you should be fine, but still, you are going to get something back with these characters. So yeah, I kind of wanted to bring up the Duel of the Fates and the Peridia Patrol are 2 newer assault battles with the rotations, and those are going to be in constantly. And if you have the high relics on those characters, at least you're getting something back. So, at least with the Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan, you did get some use with the Battle for Naboo. And with the new Imperial Remnant characters, at least you're on the way to getting Galactic Legend Ahsoka unlocked. And now I want to talk about probably one of my favorite teams in the game right now, and that is going to be Inquisitors. You have a legendary character with Grand Inquisitor. His legendary event sucks. I hated that. I hated running that event so much. But then you also have Third Sister, or as we like to call her, Reva. Reva really lifted this team. I talked about this team the other day in another video, but this team is just so good. in so many game modes. You have incredible viability with them inside of Territory Wars, especially if you're vesting Omicrons. There's a lot of Territory War Omicrons to be had on this team. There are some solid Grand Arena Omicrons on Reva, though the only one I've used is her lead. And the other two are nice, but they're by no means required like her lead is. That lead Omicron on her really turns this team into a force inside of Grand Arena. I'm using to constantly defeat something like Jedi Master Kenobi. And if they don't have Kenobi, they probably got Luke on defense, and then this just runs right over a Jedi Master Luke team. So you're getting some nice viability for them here. They're also a pretty strong team on defense, requiring some pretty meta counters as well. Though we'll see how that sticks around, considering Bad Batch is a very strong counter to Inquisitors inside of Grand Arena. We'll see if that sticks around. But then also you have Marok, who is part of the Balin Skull team. But if you do want to get some nice return on territory battles, he's got an Omicron here that lets you run an Inquisitor team on auto inside of territory battles. Makes them a force. They are already pretty strong, but with that Marok Omicron, they are just to a whole new level inside territory battles. Again, I don't recommend putting the Omicron on because you can manage just fine without it, but if you want to make things a little bit easier for yourself inside of territory battles, well, there you go. And also makes the Reva mission on Tatooine very easy too. But this team is going to get you far in Territory Wars. One of the stronger non-Galactic Legend teams inside of Grand Arena, and I don't see that going away anytime soon because the fact that she can counter multiple Galactic Legends already and requires some very strong non-Galactic Legend counters herself. This team is just not going to go anywhere in terms of Grand Arena. It's a force inside of Territory Wars. You're using it constantly inside of territory battles. And not to mention, there is the Fanatical Devotion Assault Battle as well that you use Inquisitors on. So there's an Assault Battle to kind of top things off here. This team is going to be used in so many game modes. You've also got constantly using them in Conquest one way or another. We've always got something with a Galactic Challenge or a Galactic Conquest feat where you have to defeat enemies with Inquisitors or inflict some kind of debuff that the Inquisitors have with them for somehow. Like right now with the Jocasta new one, we have to imply potency down, and you've got that here with the ground pound on Ninth Sister. You also got previous conquests that required applying purge, which is only through the Inquisitorius. So this is one that yeah, you're gonna get a lot of use out of this team no matter what game mode you're looking at. Territory War, Grand Arena, Assault Battles, Territory Battles. This team is everywhere, and this is one of the stronger teams in the game. I absolutely love using them. I love that everything I put into them, I've been given back by being able to use them in different game modes. So this is going to say probably one of the better return on investment teams just because of how widely used they are within the game. So that's going to kind of wrap up things for me here. I want to hear from you all. What teams do you think I missed? Do you think I missed a team? Do you disagree with what I said here? Is there another team do you guys think has incredible return on that investment as well? Let me know down below in the comments section. Again, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.